drink some water before I get into this foolery. Assalamu alaikum. This is the KIK representing the POBUMS Society. I want to talk to y'all about what happened today. So, the Aurora Police Department and the Aurora African American Heritage Advisory Board thought it would be a good idea to get an Aurora police car and have it custom wrapped in the flag of Juneteenth. And so they unveiled this today. The mayor did. He gave a little speech. They unveiled this today and acting like this is something to celebrate. Like we made progress because you wrapped a symbol of independence around a symbol of oppression. And the thing that upsets me is y'all don't see anything wrong with this? Y'all don't see anything wrong with this. How can black people in City Hall and in Aurora be so numb, so brain dead that they don't see what the fuck is happening? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So the same police car, the same police car that many of us, hold on, let me do something real fast. All right. So the same police car that many of us have been in the back seat in, have been beat on, kicked on, called niggas, in the same police car, you wrap a Juneteenth flag around it, and you act like that's okay. That's not progress. That's nothing to celebrate. That's insanity. That's madness. That's nigga shit. How can you have a mayor, a black mayor, 2 black aldermen, a black chief of police, an African American Heritage Board, and y'all all agree that this is something that you should display and give to the black community? Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. That's some Uncle Tom stuff. That's a photo op. In no way, form, or fashion does that help the black community. In no way, form, or fashion does that build or bridge gaps or build bridges within the black community with the APD. That's sad, man. It's sad. And what's sadder is that nobody black in Aurora is saying anything about it. No black politician has said anything about it. No black preacher has said anything about it. And it's sad. It's sad. Listen, man. You tell me one Jewish person that would allow for a Jewish tank to be custom wrapped with an Israeli flag and paraded through their neighborhoods. And people talking about that's progress. If they would not accept that, and not one Jewish person alive would accept that, why would black people in Aurora accept this bullshit that you give us? Talk to me. And I want to address Clayton. Clayton is not the president of the Heritage Board, but he's an advisor or a consultant or something. How the hell you got the last name Muhammad and you let something like this fly? How can you say you love the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and you let something like this fly? How can Richard say he's a black man in Aurora and you let something like this fly? How can Shakita Hart and Alderman Bug, our 2 black aldermen, let this fly? How can Chief Cross be a black chief in the 2nd largest city in Illinois and you say nothing about this? That's nigga shit, man. That's nigga shit. That doesn't help black people. That police car wrapped in the Juneteenth flag is a symbol without substance. It's like Kool-Aid with no flavor. It's nothing. Listen, man, the history of Juneteenth, if you don't know, go read about it. It's the ending of the war, and the slaves are quote unquote officially free. Except in Texas, they had slavery for 2 more years because they wanted to get in the harvest, and so they didn't tell the slaves. So when everybody's free, they say, you know what? We're going to have Juneteenth as this day. Even though they celebrated as Juneteenth, even after that holiday, they started locking back up black people who were free, who didn't have jobs because they were fresh out of slavery. So Juneteenth is a celebration of the so-called independence and freedom of black people from the tyranny and oppression of slavery. Now, the history of the police came out of slave catchers, the paddy wagon, that's real, came out of the history of slave catchers running down runaway slaves. That's where your police force comes from. So you put Juneteenth with that, and you wrap it around a police car, and you give that to black people and say, this is something to celebrate. You're out of your goddamn mind. That's not anything to celebrate. It's not. It's foolishness. It's dumb. And black preachers in Aurora, you ain't said nothing. You should speak up. But you won't speak up because you're in the hip pocket of black politicians and scared to lose favor with the mayor. Richard Irvin, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. Keith Cross, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Shakita Hart, you ought to be ashamed of yourself to give something like this to the people and talking about this is universal and it's diverse. It's not diversity. How is wrapping a flag of Juneteenth around and a police car diversity? Make it make sense. How does that make sense? Listen, certain members of the Aurora Police Department who were black had to sue the Aurora Police Department for discriminatory promotional practices. They had to sue them. But you give them a car and wrap it in this, and you act like that's cool? That's not cool. Listen, man, listen. Black people in Aurora, we need to wake up. We need to understand what is going down with us. Because your elected officials are put in position with money, and they have been bought, sold off. They do not care about us, man. They do not care about us. There's nobody advocating for black people. Nobody. And that police car and that unveiling, that ridiculous coon nigga shit is a perfect example of why black people cannot get anything advanced in Aurora because you have black gatekeepers feeding us this bullshit. There's no economic development aimed at the black community. But you spend thousands of dollars wrapping a goddamn police car in a Juneteenth flag. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. Black people are 10% of the population here. And pretty soon that will decrease because when black people, kids graduate from school, they get the fuck out of Aurora because they don't like it here. But you want to, instead of addressing real issues, like homelessness here and stuff in Aurora, stuff that affects black people, places like Eastwood and Indian Trail, Maple Terrace, those places will soon be phased out. Where are those people going to go? Instead of addressing real shit like that, you give us a goddamn police car and a Juneteenth flag. And you think that's progress, Richard. That's not progress. That's idiocy. That's nigga shit. What do black people here in Aurora got to do to see that they do not care about us, man? They give us the shit and you applaud on Facebook and act like it's cool. There's a police officer named Star Perella. She's all up in the comments talking about this is a great idea. How is that a great idea, Star? You had to sue the police department. They were calling y'all niggas down there. And this is a great idea? What the fuck's wrong with y'all? And then when somebody speaks on it, you want to say they're radical. No, it's not radical. It's just bullshit. Come on, man. You cannot have this many black people in positions of power. And black people have no goddamn representation here. A black mayor, 2 black aldermen, a black police chief, an African-American Heritage Advisory Board, and nobody said shit about this sickness and madness with a goddamn police car. Whether you agree with Juneteenth or not, just the symbol of an independent flag that represents Juneteenth, that represents the freedom and independence of black people from slavery, and you put it around a goddamn police car and give it to the community, that police car should not be allowed to drive down the goddamn street. Talk to me. Talk to me. Man, listen, man. Listen. You can't take a Japanese tank and wrap it up in a Korean flag, then roll it through the streets of Korea and say we're trying to make progress. You can't take a Belgian tank and wrap it in the flag of the Congo and roll it through there and say that we're trying to make progress. That's insane. You can't take a German tank and wrap it in a flag of Israel, the Israeli flag, and march it through Jewish neighborhoods. They would not allow that. So how come in Aurora, black people allow anything that happens to us, we accept it? Because your black leaders want to be so close to white people, so close to those in power, and want to be accepted by white people and those in power, that you bend over and you spread your ass cheeks, and then you disrespect the black community. Talk to me. This is insane. This is insane. And the fact that no black person is speaking about this, how disrespectful that is to our ancestors. How disrespectful that is to those who survived the Middle Passage. How disrespectful it is for those who got raped and killed and lynched just for being black by police officers, and you put a Juneteenth flag on a goddamn police car and you act like it's all right. I can't be the only one that feels this way. That's insanity. That's insanity. And some dumb niggas are applauding this shit. It's great. It's great. What's great about the Aurora Police Department and how they've treated black people for the past 25 years? Officer Brian ran amok in this bitch. Every black person has a horror story when dealing with this motherfucker. But that's something to applaud, because now we got a Juneteenth flag up on a goddamn police car? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all can't see what's happening to Aurora? Black people are being systematically erased and shoveled out of this bitch. But they give you false symbols of hope. A goddamn Listen to the insanity of this. There's a homeless crisis in Aurora that nobody wants to talk about. They're phasing out Eastwood, Indian Trail, South Wind. They're phasing out those places. Those people have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Rent is rising in poor neighborhoods. Most black people and Latinos can't even afford to live here anymore. But they give you a police car wrapped in the Juneteenth flag, and y'all niggas are applauding and clapping and acting like this is motherfucking progress. What is wrong with y'all, man? The politicians are bought. They sold off. I don't give a damn, man. See, it's hard to defend Richard because he keeps doing this crazy bullshit. You get in front of a camera and give people a goddamn car wrapped in a Juneteenth flag? Nigga, is you sick? Shakita Hart, are you cool with this? Alderman Bug, you cool with this? The Aurora African American Heritage Board are supposed to represent us and bring black culture to the community. This is what the fuck you do? This is the culture you bring to the community and nobody says nothing? This is what you do? Listen, there's a Juneteenth parade I think Mary organizes it, and they drive through the city celebrating Juneteenth. Do you think they just made that car out of the blue all of a sudden? They will try to co-opt that parade and put that car in front of the parade like the city of Aurora always does. They see an organization or an event and they co-opt it. Then in a couple of years, they take over the organization and event. And the ones that planned it and organized it at first are on the outside looking in. The city of Aurora always tries to control the narrative. The Aurora Police Department always tries to control the narrative. So by putting this police car wrapped in a Juneteenth flag, it gives the impression that, oh, the police department has changed. The black community is cool now. We're getting along. Listen, 3 years after George Floyd, after the demands, the listening sessions, the change initiative reform, the change reform initiative, the Aurora Police Department ain't changed. These motherfuckers is not your friend. They ain't changed. They still racist as fuck. White boys are still racist as fuck. They don't know how to talk to people. They ain't changed. They call them black officers niggas down there. Black officers gotta sue the Aurora Police Department. And you think they changed? And you applaud this car. You niggas are sick. It's a goddamn shame, man. It's a goddamn shame. Then they put it all up on the news. Oh, the Aurora, city of Aurora got a police car put up in June. Do you know how that looks to other communities, to people who are conscious? Do you know how that looks to other people? Then they say the niggas in Aurora are just dead. Because they let anything go by. Anything go by. Man, I'm done, man. But I'm just so fucking disgusted with Aurora, man. It's like the more you try to help, the dumber shit they do. The more you try to help, they just do the most ridiculous shit. Richard Irving, Clayton Muhammad, Shakita Hart, and Alderman Bugg, Keith Cross, and the Aurora African American Heritage Board Advisory. Y'all motherfuckers need to be replaced or sat down. Because this is ridiculous. You have not only shamed us, you shamed your ancestors. And like you have shamed your forefathers. That is ridiculous, man. It's a goddamn shame. It's a goddamn shame that we have to go through this and nobody says nothing. And you acting like it's some... What black person puts on a Ku Klux Klan uniform and puts some Kente Cloth around it and talking about we making progress? Does that make sense? Does that make any sense to you? So why would you take in a Aurora police car and custom wrap it up in the Juneteenth flag, talking about we're making progress? Then you want to parade this through the black neighborhoods? That's insanity. That's nigga shit. And when you don't know your history, they will do anything to act like they're your friend. These motherfuckers is not your friends. Listen, man. The Aurora Grassroots Alliance, we had a meeting with the Aurora Police Department. We had two meetings. And I'm talking to Keith Cross, and I'm talking to the other two people in there. They won't even admit that there's a problem. They won't even apologize for the stuff that's happened. It is what it is to them, man. They don't care. They don't care. I want to apologize. I want to get all hype and everything, but man, I'm just sick of this shit, man. Sick of this. Where are the black leaders in Aurora? How come none of y'all speak up? Where are the black preachers in Aurora? How come can none of y'all speak up? How come every black preacher in Aurora can get together for Dr. King's birthday and have goddamn pancake breakfast, but when some real shit hit the fan, y'all can't be seen? You can't speak up. Why are people going to church on every Sunday morning giving y'all money, but when it comes to us, you can't speak up? Nobody wants to get up in the forefront and say anything. Well, let this be a warning. I'm calling out all black pastors in Aurora. You're not doing your job. You're supposed to be shepherds. The people are supposed to be your flock. What the fuck are you doing? Look at the condition of black people in Aurora. And nobody's speaking for us. Come on. The aldermen are speaking for us. The mayor is not speaking for us because they're too concerned with white money. White money controls them. They will not rock the boat because white money controls them. They're in positions of power, but white money put them there. And so whatever white people say, that's what the fuck they do. All right, man. I'm done. Assalamu alaikum. But no, this is the last thing. This is the last thing I promise. I just want y'all to think about this. If you had a daughter and your daughter was violently raped in the back seat of a car, would you bring that car home and paint it with flowers and roses and put your daughter back up in the car and say, we're making progress? Would you do that? If you wouldn't do that, why would you custom paint, custom wrap a police car that is the symbol of brutality and oppression? The symbol where black people have been beat and killed in police cars, ran over by police cars. The same ones who try to put us back in slavery. You wrap their car with a Juneteenth flag and tell us that we should accept that. I want you to think about that. Because these black politicians are bought off. They sold off. They don't speak for the people no more. Your black preachers are bought off and sold off. They're in the hip pockets of black politicians, and they won't speak anymore. It's sad, man. The condition of black people here in Aurora is sad. Economically, it's sad. Socially, it's sad. Spiritually, it's sad. There was a shark restaurant built on Lake Street, and black people thought that was progress. Listen. They built a Sharks restaurant on Lake Street, and black people thought that was fucking progress. Is progress in a city where you have no representation and no economic footprint? That's not progress. That's nigga shit. All right, I'm done. Sorry, wasn't trying to be all hype, but y'all need to wake up, man. We need to wake up and apply pressure and get involved and understand what's going on in the city of Aurora. Because mark your brother's word, they are systematically getting rid of black people here in Aurora. They're systematically getting rid of poor people here in Aurora because it doesn't fit the aesthetic of what they want Aurora to look like. The condos that they built in downtown Aurora and out by the mall, Fox Valley Mall, if you work 2 full-time jobs, you can't even afford a studio apartment there. They're attracting a different demographic here in Aurora. And those who are hovering below or above the poverty rate line, they're getting rid of us and they don't care no more. They simply do not care about black people no more. So yeah, we need to understand that, man. This is a plan. When the city does forecasts and like projections, they do it for 5, 10, and 15 years. You think Westwood just happened? Westwood is not there anymore. That was planned 5 years in advance. And now they're planning to get rid of the other stuff. Eastwood, Indian Trail, all of that's about to disappear. But we're not talking about that. Black people are only 10% of the population here. We're not talking about that. But we can talk about and have Channel 2, 5, and Fox News talk about a police car wrapped in a Juneteenth flag, and like that's progress. That's diversionary tactics. That's nigga shit. All right, this is your brother, KIK. I just wanted to put that up on y'all because it was just on my heart. And I'm just tired, man. Just tired of the nigga shit here in Aurora and nobody's speaking about it. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. All right, I'm out. Sorry to take up your time. Thanks for tuning in and apply pressure, man. Apply pressure to these motherfuckers. Because the only way politicians will understand if they feel the element of the threat, apply pressure. I don't care if you got to write, vote, protest, march, whatever you do, apply pressure. Because in the next couple months, shit's about to hit the fan in Aurora, man. It's about to hit the fan, and you know, nobody's safe. It's about to hit the fan. It's all over the country. It's all over the country. Love you too, Steve. It's all over the country. This gentrification process is not just up in Aurora. It's in Washington, D.C. It's up in Detroit. It's up in Brooklyn. It's up in Harlem. It's all across the country. This is not some conspiracy shit. It's all across the country, man. And nobody's talking about it here in Aurora. But they pacify us with a police car. You know how disrespectful that is to our ancestors who bled and died? Do you know how disrespectful that is? Come on, man. Even if you know nothing about history, you know that shit's not right. That's not right. All right. One more thing I want to say, and then I'm done. Richard Irving. You know what? Forget it. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I just hope, Richard Irving, I hope you find some backbone, man. Hope you find some backbone and become a black man again, and you're able to represent your people. Because unlike white people, black people can't throw away our politicians so easily, because we don't know when we'll get another black person up in position of power. So Richard or like Shakita Hart could do all type of ridiculous stuff, and black people will still love them because we like, who else do we got? But it comes a time where enough is enough. And I think this is that time that enough is enough, man. I hope you find some backbone. I hope you find your moral compass. Because every time you talk to black people, you talk down to us. Every time you talk to Latinos, you talk down to us. So I hope you find some backbone. I hope you find a moral compass. And I hope you stop letting white money control you and start speaking from your heart and start trying to help black people. And I want all people to understand this about City Hall. Yes, you have a black mayor, but he doesn't have executive power, which means he can't just write a policy up in a practice. He doesn't have executive power. He can't. The only time he can vote at City Hall is if there's a tie. So you have a black face up on white supremacy. Because don't get it twisted. With the black mayor in City Hall is still racist as fuck. Really racist as fuck. And with the black police chief over the Aurora Police Department is still racist as fuck. So don't get it twisted. A black face up on white supremacy. That's all it is. So Richard, I hope you find your bearings, man. I hope you do something for black people here in Aurora and stop placating us and doing this bullshit, man. People are tired of that, man. People are tired. They're sick and tired of politicians lying to us. Sick and tired of politicians making speeches but not talking to us. It's enough of the bullshit, man. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry that I took so long, but that's it. All right, assalamu alaikum. The KIK is out. Peace.